If you think regular single-pointed darts are difficult to sew, wait until you try contour darts. Contour darts are double-pointed, and so they are sewn onto the fabric surface as opposed to extending from an edge. And of course, double-pointed darts are double the work of a single-pointed dart, so if you've never sewn one before, you may find it a little bit tricky at first. But as much as you may dislike sewing contour darts, the end result is always a beautiful organic structure. Contour darts are used at the waistline to give the garment that fitted, feminine shape. The trick to sewing the perfect contour dart is using the dart's center fold line and a little bit of ironing to keep the fabric layers folded flat and perfectly in place during the stitching process. Contour darts or double-pointed darts feature a wide intake in the middle and taper into two vanishing points at opposite directions. Contour darts are always located vertically on the body. Contour darts are often trimmed horizontally at the widest intake to release tension and encourage the darts to lay flat. If the contour dart excess is very thin, creating no tension on the face of the garment, it is safer to leave it unclipped. Once sewn, contour dart excess is always ironed towards the center of the garment, whether this is center front or center back. It is crucial that before beginning the sewing process, all dart lines and important sewing marks are transferred from pattern to fabric. Use a transfer technique that will leave clearly marked lines on the fabric. The tracing paper method or tailor's chalk and pins method are two of the most universal options. Fold the contour dart down the center fold line such that the fabric wrong side is facing outwards and the fabric right sides are touching. Check to make sure both dart legs are now overlapping on both sides of the fold. The marked dart legs will serve as the dart stitch lines. Match the dart legs to each other, first at the center, then at each vanishing point. Complete the matching process by aligning the remainder of the dart legs. Insert pins as you match the lines at each point. It also helps to iron the folded edge at this point. To facilitate the hand basting and stitching process, reinsert the pins in perpendicular direction to the fold. For added comfort during machine stitching, add a hand basting stitch next to the dart stitch line as shown. Starting at the middle, the widest area, stitch towards one of the vanishing points directly on top of the marked dart leg. Going back to the widest area of the dart, stitch again directly on the marked dart leg toward the other vanishing point. Do not backstitch at the vanishing point. Simply tie the loose threads by hand. Instead of backstitching at the widest area of the dart, overlap the start of the second stitch to the beginning of the first. This will lock the stitching in place and prevent it from unraveling. Use your seam ripper to remove any hand basting stitches at this point. Clip the dart excess horizontally at its widest area, stopping at about 1/4 of an inch away from the dart stitch line. Clipping at the dart excess will allow the dart to lay flat and eliminates pulling and tension issues at the waist. You may choose to skip this step if your contour dart intake is thin and does not create any tension issues within the garment. To iron the finished contour dart, first iron the contour dart stitching in the direction it was applied. In this case, from the center out towards each vanishing point. Next, iron the excess towards the center of the garment as shown. For front darts, the excess will point to the center front. Naturally, back dart excess will be ironed pointing towards the center back. It is easier to iron darts from the face of the garment, but be careful not to damage the fabric in the process. Use a protective cloth for heat-sensitive fabrics. If you feel comfortable with your sewing machine, you can use pins alone to stitch the contour dart. Just make sure you remove each pin as you approach it.